Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Wiseguys Sports Betting Show right here on the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, May the 21st. And like always, every Tuesday, I'm Ross Benjamin, by the way, and I'm joined by fellow picksandparlays.net handicappers Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs. Folks, before we get to the two gentlemen that are my guests today, and distinguished guests at that, just a friendly reminder, if you want to see this show continue or shows like it continue, it's really important you hit that like button, and it would go a long way in continuing these types of shows. I know a lot of you are used to just a 2, 3 minute, 4 minute video that does nothing but give you a free pick and you don't learn a lot and there's no betting discussions. We're not that type of show. So it might not be for everybody, but if you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit the like button and it will go a long way in picksandparlays.net, continuing on with this type of programming. Sean, how are you, man?
Pretty good. No complaints. Actually, who am I kidding? I got complaints. I had the Yankees in the under yesterday and a Houston run line. Are you kidding me with those debacles? What's there to say? Frustrating day. A winning day. I had a winning day baseball, but it could have been a super day. I go from 9-2 to 6-5 with that nonsense. So,
yeah. That Yankee one definitely hurt you.
I could live with the Stros. It was mid-game, but the Yankee to lose both of them in the ninth. Are you kidding me with the bullpen? Because that's what I think the Yankees won't lose through the year would be their bullpen. Whatever. It's a new day. We can't. Rear view mirror tiny. It's tiny. Look in the back. It's behind you. Windshield. Yeah. Here we go. It's a new day.
Easier said than done sometime, but it's something we've grown thick skin and having to do because
you have to.
It's almost like being a doctor. I mean, we're not in life and death situations like doctors, so let's not get carried away in the correlation. But if a doctor has a patient die on him, he can't get emotionally wrapped up from that failure or the ability not to save him and take that over to his diagnosis and his treatment of the next patient. Yep. It's called being professional. Now it's, again, let's not get carried away. I'm not trying to compare us to doctors, but I know one guy is a doctor. He's a doctor of sports betting, and that's Mr. Dr. Jesse Schule. Cool Jesse Schule, whatever name you want to associate with Jesse. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Ross. You reminded me of something when you called me a doctor. It's a story for another day. I will say that I did tell that story about the Detroit Red Wings and the LA Kings, that upset in the first round back in 2001. I did get a lot of feedback on YouTube. A lot of people really enjoyed that story. I was discussing it also with Lenny, if you were wondering. But I'm feeling really good. The weather here in Thailand is a lot better than it was last month. I'm exercising a lot and dieting, but I just had a massive dinner of smoked picanha with chimichurri. And if you want to see what that looked like, there's a picture on my Twitter page. I know you and Sean have already had a look at it. What do you guys think? Did it look all right or what?
Yeah. It makes me want to skip right to dinner at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Why can't you eat dinner at 8 o'clock in the morning, Ross? I'm all for eating a giant meal at 8 a.m. because then you have all day to work it off and have a light salad or something for dinner.
Yeah,
while you're sleeping.
I agree with that concept.
Although I'm a fat guy, so I could eat like that every meal of the day.
So. Did you tell the Roger Clemens story on this channel, or was it on the other channel?
Yeah, I didn't tell it on this channel, but I'd be happy to one of these days.
Well, let's. I mean, a little bit of humor. I found this to be extremely funny, and you may not, but it's worth repeating, Jesse. And it stems back to the days when Roger Clemens was pitching for the Toronto Blue Jays. And my thing is I brought up the fact that I used to make trips to Canada as a kid just because their beer is so much better. It's higher in alcohol content. It's cleaner without a lot of preservatives. But anyway, Jesse, I don't want to steal your thunder. Tell the story.
Yeah, well, when the Blue Jays signed Roger Clemens, there was a commercial on Canadian television, and it was Clemens warming up, throwing in the bullpen, and they got the radar gun out, and he starts his 100, 101, 110, 115, gets up to like 120, and Clemens is flexing. He's like, "Oh, I'm the man." And then the guy with the radar gun says to his buddy, "Should we tell him it's in kilometers?"
And I'm envisioning an American guy looking at that after about 4 Bredors and looking and going, holy cow, I never seen a guy throw this hard. Anyway, great story there. In any event, let's get right to the games at hand we're going to be discussing. But before we get to that, Sean, you're going to tell the folks a little bit about what's been going on with Mr. Higgs at picksandparleys.net and what they may be looking forward to coming up.
Well, I had a 3-pack up yesterday. I went 2-1 with the totals. The loser was the Yankee under. Yes, flat Earth. Well, that discussion. Me, Ross, and Jesse have a whole conspiracy channel we have. It's called Conspiracies with Ross, and they're all true. Flat Earth, fake moon landing, JFK assassination. We can go on and on and on. But yeah, listen, I got a 3-pack of baseball up for today. Go get it. Weekly pass always better because, like I said, 2-1 in a 3-pack yesterday, but 6-5 overall. I don't put up 10 packs and stuff like that. I choose my 3 best and put them in a package for you. But volume guy, a bunch of games. Baseball, it's a couple games over 500, but we're plus money. That's all that matters. So if you like a lot of action, take the weekly pass. You're going to get 50 or more games a week for, I think you use a promo code. It'll cost you like $31. So can't beat that. We're talking quarter, 25 cents a game, maybe. I don't even know.
And explain to them too. I mean, along with the volume, that how much you profess and how important money management is.
Yeah, there's no. I mean, people come in like, oh, what's the lock of the day? What's your favorite? Listen, I'm a volume guy. I like my trends and stuff in baseball and stick to those kind of things. Some days there's 11 games. Some days there's 6. Some days there's 2. But you don't go all out nutty. I have 250 games, 260 games already bet this year. There'll be 800 more. This is a grind away day. If you're looking for you want to hit a game a week, here are your guys. A game every couple of days. Big money moves. That's fine. I'm high volume, low risk, I guess you'd put it. Like we're not tripling up wagers here, looking to triple bankrolls per day. No other way to say it. It's
win percentage is important when it comes to sports betting, but it's probably the least important when it comes to Major League Baseball. And Sean just told you he's around 500, but he's plus money. And there's a lot of guys that could hit in the high 50s and low 60s and be right around even or losing money because they bet so many big chalks. So again, keep that in mind, folks. You don't have to necessarily hit 58 to 60% in Major League Baseball, especially on the money line betting on the sides, to be a successful Major League Baseball sports bettor. Jesse, you look awful serious. You're zeroing in on something. Share what you're zeroing in on with us and tell us.
I was trying to look at the leaderboards to see how many baseball games I've bet on this year because I think it's around 50. I don't bet on a ton of baseball, especially. I usually put out a game a day. I try to get a game out there every day, but I don't really crank up the volume until the dog days of summer. I'm still focused on the NBA playoffs. Been doing quite well with the player props in NBA playoffs on the shows. Not as well with the premium picks as of yet, but I feel pretty confident that I'm going to finish the playoffs strong. So there's that. But I do have 3 baseball plays today, which is a big card for me. Big card.
There you go. I've been treading lightly in baseball, folks. I lost last night with the Detroit Tigers, I mean. But I've been treading real lightly in baseball. I've made a nice profit since August of last year in Major League Baseball. But the NBA playoffs is the reason why I've treaded so lightly in Major League Baseball. Like all of us, if you're hot in one particular area, and if it's not broke, don't fix it, and I'm making my clients a lot of money. 23-10 with my last 33, 38-16 in the NBA playoffs this year. That's nothing new because over the last 3 years, all at Picks and Parlays and several other sites I'm on, 112-63 in the NBA postseason, which is somewhere around 63%, between 63 and 64%. So, when the games matter the most and when I know I can be certain that nobody's sitting because of what do we call it? Rest management or whatever, load management. And nobody's going to sit out with a hangnail injury. When the games matter most, I've been locked in, and you should take advantage of that, folks. And I will have a winning side up very shortly at picksandparlays.net in game one of the Eastern Conference Finals series between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. All right, let's get to our free picks. They all come in Major League Baseball. Jesse, we'll start with you. The Braves and the Cubs. I understand you got a prop and you also have a pick in this game as well.
Yeah, Ross, I guess you got to tread carefully today at Wrigley. The wind is apparently howling and it's blowing out, and the total is sitting at 11 currently. This could be one of those games where the total, depending on the weather conditions, you could see the total go up to 13, 14 before the game starts. That makes it tricky as far as the side, but given that these teams just played each other in a series in Atlanta, given that the Braves are coming off of a doubleheader yesterday, and given that the same pitching matchup for today's game resulted in a Cubs win, and the Cubs are the dog here today, I am going to look at the Cubs for the first 5 innings. You got the starter, Javier Assad, 4-0 with a 1.49 ERA, 1.03 whip. The numbers get even better if you just look at Wrigley, 2-0 with a 0.81 ERA in 4 starts at home. And then you get Charlie Morton for the Braves. He's a man. He's 40. I think he's 40. He's got to be at least 40. He allowed 4 runs on 5 hits in just 3 innings against the Cubs in his last start. And Cody Bellinger is 7 for 18 lifetime against Morton. That's 389 with the wind blowing out. And Bellinger's RBI prop sitting at plus 145. I think there's a little value there. Ross, what do you think?
Yeah, I do. You only got to get 1 RBI, and if he's got history against Morton, which he does, and this is a top-notch hitter. The thing with Assad is I really like this guy. I think he's one of the more underrated pitchers, starting pitchers in Major League Baseball thus far this season that flies under the radar. So I agree with both of your picks. So Jesse likes the Chicago Cubs plus a half a run in the first 5 at odds of minus 130. He also likes Cody Bellinger to at least have 1 RBI in this game at money line odds of plus 145. I think that's a very good value. Am I correct in those 2 picks, Jesse?
You are.
All right. So very good. There you have it, Jesse Schule. And Jesse, if you look at the leaderboards at picksandparlays.net, overall in the top 10 this year has been historically in the top 10, not only at Picks and Parlays, but on any site he posts at, one of the more consistent winning handicappers in all the sports betting industry over the last decade. And folks, you should really contemplate, if you're serious about winning, looking at Jesse Schule and purchasing one of his subscription plans, or if you're one of those guys who like to dabble in once in a while, single game or multi-game daily package. He's got a 3-game package in Major League Baseball today. Dabble in, give him a try. Sean, all right. You got the beloved Detroit Tigers. I almost call them the Detroit Lennies again. And they're taking on the Kansas City Royals. Last night, Kansas City continues to roll, buddy. They beat the Tigers 8-3. Yep. And right now, the Tigers are a minus 115 road favorite. The total in this game is 9. Where are you going with this one?
Yeah, as a favorite, like, what is that? I mean, listen, I like the Tigers. I got an over Tiger win ticket. I got an overall win ticket. But listen, I do like the Royals here. Just because they've won 4 in a row. I'm going under, though. I look at these pitchers, Kansas City, and I think we talked about the Royals on another free pick video we did, Ross, and talked about the overall bullpen and their ERAs and stuff like that. And it was kind of like, well, it's going to kind of adjust back because of the whips aren't there. They kind of don't line up, right? We like to look at whips and stuff like that. But all in all, they're still a 29-18 to an under team. So we're closing in on the end of May. 2 full months, they've been pretty solid. I'm not expecting Tigers to really break out offensively here. They had a nice little game down in Arizona. They put some runs up, a monster. I think they put up 13 runs one game. But look at these 2 pitchers, both Marsh and Mize. Last 8 starts, both of them 1 game each, allowing more than 3 runs. So, and one was 5 runs, one was 4 runs. Otherwise, these guys aren't giving up. Even 3 runs, I think they've given up combined 3 in those 16 games. So it's not like they give up tons of runs. I got one team that's playing to an under all season. I got another team in Detroit that's so offensively. That's their problem. Like we right, we could all agree we love their pitching, right? We think Olson's good. We think Scubal's really good. The hitting is yet to come around. I don't think they're going to get here versus Marsh. I'm going to go under the 9.
Yeah, Detroit and Kansas City under the 9. He makes a compelling case for that to occur. Jesse, I'm going to let you comment first.
Yeah, this line really jumped out at me. Kansas City has been playing well. They've been scoring runs. The pitching matchup doesn't look advantageous to the Tigers to me. Maybe one of you guys can fill me in if you think I'm wrong with that. The hot team, the home team, at this price, I got to go with Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City. We discussed this on a show yesterday with two other colleagues of mine, and I talked about Cleveland and how they don't wow you, and is it sustainable what they're doing right now? And the same thing applies to the Kansas City Royals. You're looking at they're 30-19 so far this season, 19-8 at home, with a plus 1.9 run per game differential at home. But still, it's not like they're a power-laden team. They've hit 46 home runs in 49 games. It's less than one per game. And Detroit, even more so. Not only are they struggling offensively at times to score runs, but, you look at their power numbers. They've only hit 39 home runs in their first 47 games. So it takes a lot for a team. You're talking about a team that's hitting 234 as a team in Detroit. And they have to string a lot of hits together to really generate a productive offensive day. And that's difficult based on their current numbers. As far as the pitching matchup goes, Jesse, I mean, Casey Mize has been pretty good. I mean, you look at he's had 8 starts, a 3.50 ERA, a 1.91 WHIP. Those are good numbers, And then you look at Alec Marsh, and he's been terrific, especially at home. 6-1 overall on the season in terms of team win-loss in terms of when he starts. So 7 starts, 243, 105 in terms of ERA whip ratio. And then at home, even better, 3-0 at home with the 184 and the 122. Doesn't average a lot of innings pitched. And then you turn to the bullpens, and Kansas City's bullpen has been a little bit erratic of late. Over the last 8 games, or somewhere around a 5.60 ERA and a 1.50 WHIP. But you look at their numbers at home; they've been much better at home in terms of their ERA. Where Detroit's bullpen, a 2.71 on the road. So yeah, I would say that you're under 9 makes a lot of sense to me. Sean. So in any event, any closing statement on that game, Sean, and we'll get to my game.
No, I mean, you mentioned the home runs or lack of, that's been Detroit's problem. They got Torkelson's the young guy supposed to be really good, and took him a long time to come around last year, and slow start again this year. And Casey, I like Witt. I like Vinny P. They got Sally Dog Perez in there. They got some guys with pop. They haven't done it. I like the line. Listen, both of these teams have a lot of good young talent. And I'm hoping one of them really turns on good. I got the over-win ticket, so I mean that's a little off the mark, but I like both these teams. The talent is there. Can it produce? Hopefully not today, though. We got the under, but Lenny's in the background, shake his head. They're a good team. We've talked about it before. They seem to always get pitchers hurt. Like Reese Olson takes a line drive. He's hurt. Yeah. Casey Mize was supposed to be good a couple years ago. He got hurt. I mean, it goes on and on. It's sad. I say, what are you gonna do? It's your turn. Who do you got, Russ? Let's go to your game now.
Yeah, all right.
Well, get Lenny all sad about his Tigers getting hurt and not hitting.
All right, the Rays and the Red Sox is my game. The game we played at Tampa Bay. And you look at the two starting pitchers in this game, Criswell for the Red Sox and Littell for Tampa Bay. And Littell's been solid. I mean, you look at his 5 home starts this year, 3.57 ERA, a 1.19 WHIP. And Criswell quietly is having a good season. He's made 6 starts, a 2.07 ERA, a 1.04 WHIP. And then his 2 road starts, he's been dynamic, an 0.96 ERA. The problem with Criswell is he doesn't give you a lot of innings. I don't know if that's by design or he gets himself in pitch counts that are up there after 5 innings. I haven't done that deeper research because I wasn't concerned because Boston's bullpen has been absolutely phenomenal on the road this year compared to home. We all know Fenway Park is a very hitter-friendly ballpark because of the dimensions and the design. But when they go on the road, the Boston bullpen, a 2.85 ERA on the road, and Tampa Bay's bullpen, by the way, we mentioned it earlier on a couple of occasions how they're not the Tampa Bay bullpen we've been used to during their successful years. But over their last 8 games, they have an 0.78 ERA and an 0.79 WHIP as a staff. So they've begun to come on. Yesterday's result, Boston wins 5-0. Tampa Bay, again, not the same offensive team we've been used to in recent years, guys. What really strikes me is when I handicapped yesterday's game and I used the under in the first game of the series as well, Tampa Bay has scored 2 runs or fewer in 42% of their games this year. Think about that. 42% of the games. They're lucky they have the record they even have right now. And a lot of that could be attributed to their starting pitching and they're playing fundamentally sound baseball. But I'm going to go under 8.5 Red Sox and Rays, Jesse.
Makes plenty of sense, Ross. You look at the 2 starting pitchers. Both of them appear to be off to a solid start. And you got 2 offenses that aren't really lighting it up. And you got a indoor stadium where the weather doesn't matter. And, total at 8.5. I say 4-3 final. Probably lean toward the dog in this one.
Sean?
Well, I'm looking at Cooper Griswold. And, he was on Tampa Bay last year, bullpen guy, not good numbers. And even this year, 5 innings, he throws 70 pitches. So I guess they're kind of like stretching him out a little bit. But I'm with you. Oh, why would my son be calling me? Thanks, Dan. Yeah, I could go under. 5-0 last game. I like to kind of back teams off a shutout, so I'd probably lean Tampa here because they took 3 out of 4 in Boston. But Houck's pretty solid. This one here, I don't like the stretching out of guys. What are you gonna get? Either way, you're gonna get 4 or 5 innings out of this guy, no matter how good or bad he pitches.
Yeah.
But you want to go under? I don't hate it.
Well, I mean, again, my big thing with stretching them out, and again, I'm glad you brought that up because I wasn't sure at this point why his average innings pitched per start was so low, but it certainly makes sense now. But when you're around 5 innings pitched per start, I believe 4.9 to be exact, and you're putting up good numbers when given the opportunity, and then you couple that with a Boston bullpen that's pitching very well on the road, a Tampa Bay team that's really struggled to score runs this year. And you got a starter in Littell that's pitched very well. And like Sean just alluded to.
I got to run. My son just got in a car accident.
Okay. All right. Sorry. I hope all goes well. All right. So our picks are on Tampa Bay and the Red Sox under 8.5. And in the Tigers Royals game, Sean likes the under 9. In the Cubs and Braves game, Jesse likes the Cubs plus a half a run at moneyline odds of -130 in the first 5 innings. And he also likes a prop on Cody Bellinger to have at least 1 RBI at moneyline odds of +145. Jesse, there's a like button right underneath.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button, folks. Just a small token of your appreciation for the time, work, and effort we put into bringing you a quality show each and every week. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Picks and Parlays YouTube channel. It's free to do so. Just hit that black subscribe button. And while you're at it, click the inside your YouTube settings. You'll be alerted upon any of the great material on this channel going up when it's published. Until the next time, for Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs, Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.